Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and we have a very special. Every show is special. What am I saying? But today we have a very interesting and necessary topic that we're going to discuss. It's talking about health insurance. Do you have it? Why not? The time is now for you to get it. And we have a very special guest coming on to talk about that. But in the meantime, hello, Coy Malone. How are you?
Hey, Sybil, I'm doing pretty good. And I see we got George Wallace here today
And
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 let me
yes,
ask
we
you,
do.
where you going, Coy? All dressed up in lipstick. Where the hell you going?
to see y'all.
You got a new
Not,
bride too?
not.
You look
We
15
know.
years
We
younger.
know better than that.
To see, seriously, I went to work today and came
Did,
home
let me tell you, Coy
to
wears clothes
broadcast.
that look like she's going somewhere else after George.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
going somewhere. She got
yeah. She going
you
out after.
don't you
Yeah,
got
My
new
boss says
teeth?
the same thing.
Those are new teeth
that's
you
not a
have?
good thing.
New teeth. No, these are my
Those are
teeth.
new teeth. Your lipstick. You look really good today.
Thank you.
George,
Yeah.
your lipstick is lovely too.
Where's my lip?
And your new teeth, everything is just popping. It's popping today, Papa.
Listen,
George, are you I know you
don't
have
ever
things
go to a
going
single
on in
person
your
house.
home.
Don't ever drink anything at a single person house because we drink it right out of the
That's
cup.
true. That's true.
Hmm.
That is true. That is truer than
No,
the
no,
truth.
I do that, but you ladies don't do that. Y'all don't drink out the card.
Okay.
Mm,
Um
for most of my stuff, I don't. Most of it.
Oh my
there's
God.
there's there's the company beverage and then there's the Sybil beverage, and that's the way it works.
And it depends.
George, you said you were having some work done at your house. Is that in play, in process?
Well, they came in this morning they're going to redo all of my floors
Uh-huh.
because
Mm.
I had a leak in the roof. There was a leak in this old building and it
Ah,
erupted. It did something to my floor. And you know me. Oh,
yeah.
you got to put in the whole thing. You just can't replace that spot.
That's spot, yeah.
So they're going to do it. And it's I made them do the whole house. Hope they're not listening to me now. But they came in, they told me 2 days. They said 2 weeks, but I thought it said 2 days.
Mm.
Oh,
So they came in today. They're going to put me out of my house. And
the
they're going to
nerve
give
of
me
them.
an apartment
And
downstairs.
put down new floors. The nerve of them.
So we have apartments downstairs for visitors. So I'm going to be
Mhm.
staying downstairs for 2 weeks.
Oh, I thought maybe you were
Then
going to another part of the world. Okay. All
well,
right.
I am going to leave tomorrow. I'm going to Los Angeles tomorrow, and then
Uh-huh.
I'm going to work on music on my TV show. And then Thursday I'm going to go to Honolulu, Hawaii, and you know how much we love Honolulu. So, but I did something very stupid. You know the place I used to have like a timeshare where you stayed there.
Hmm, hmm.
That place could have sold back then. That place they offered me that place for $400 back then.
And now that is ridiculous, George.
Right.
Wow. You live and you learn. I hope you've learned your lesson, young man.
2.5.
That's crazy. Oh my
Wow.
God.
Ooh,
Wow.
wee.
But it was overlooking the streets. So I had a place to overlooking the streets, not the ocean. I don't like
Right.
to. Well, you could see the ocean, but
You could
I
see,
like,
if you stand a certain way, you could see the
yeah,
ocean.
I like to see the hoes and the pimps and prostitutes working. I like to see it action. I don't like to see no damn ocean.
That wasn't the view I was referring to. So let us
The
move on.
workers.
Coy, you're doing okay?
Yes, I am. I have a lot of things coming up, including me moving.
That's a
this
part of this. Yep, it's that
yeah,
time of year.
this coming weekend, and thankfully I'm not moving far. I'm only moving a few yards away.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter. Moving has got
Yeah,
to
A
be
move is a
forceful.
move, and a move does disrupt.
it does. And I'm trying
Yeah,
to make this a clean move by throwing out things that I'm no longer using, getting rid of
right.
old clothes and shoes, trying to
Yeah.
pick up all these little knickknacks and, junk mail and stuff like that. My thought is, I could do stuff like pull the drawers out of my dresser and then have my friends move the dresser, and then I can just put the drawers right back in.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could take a rope like the old cowboys do and just throw it around your apartment and squeeze it and pull the
Yes.
we call it lasso, something like that,
Uh-huh.
and just pull the whole apartment out and just take it with you.
I
Because
need
you
to.
probably got some stuff in your house since the last time you moved that you still
And
didn't
it
know.
hasn't been that long that you've been there.
Yeah, well, it's been about 2 years. I moved here like right after my dad passed, maybe a few
Uh-huh.
months after that.
Like I said, it
So
hasn't been
yeah, it
that
hasn't been
long,
that long, but
but we do
there's definitely
accumulate. Yeah, we do
Yeah,
accumulate.
yeah, I bought a lot of the
Let's
other
move
stuff. It's
on and
time to
talk
go.
about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter. We seek to super serve the African American community with our stories to inform and empower you. We have a number of different areas that we touch on every day. My wheelhouse, my interest is in politics. So we also have a young and contributor that is Cameron Riley, also talks politics. And then with Coy Malone, she is our social justice contributor. We'll talk about her story in just a second. And then we will also, perhaps if we have time, we'll touch on some of the other things, such as Black Health Matters, and talk about health topics with Cherie White, talks about Black and Fit, and she's a big yoga and good eating person. She likes for us to eat well, and with suggestions there. So we would love to have you subscribe. The newsletter is absolutely free. If you would go to sybylwilkes.com and give us your name and your email address, we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. And George, as you know, we do what we learned from Tom Joyner, and that is to super serve the African American community. So a lot of those topics, they'll say, I don't see any Black folks in this, but trust and believe will affect Black folks in one way or another. And that is also has we have our guests that encourage us to do that as well. So, Coy, let's talk about this. This is a case that was mainstream news. It was top of the line, topic A news a few years ago. It was just about 4 years ago, I believe, in which a young woman was, I don't want to call it babysitting, but she was minding her young nephew at her family's home in Fort Worth, Texas, not too far from here. And they were up in the middle of the night. They were playing video games. Their front door was open, and a neighbor thought this was odd because that wasn't the way that her family normally had things at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And so they called police to do a wellness check. It was an unfortunate situation in which she heard a noise. She went to get her gun, and she was a licensed carrier. The police saw through the side where they saw her through the window and with a gun. And unfortunately, a Tatiana Jefferson was killed by a police officer. And this was not too long after the let's see, Bohem was killed as well in his own apartment. So these things, this
Right.
woman was killed in her house, and Bohem John was killed in Botham John was killed in his apartment. And so you can imagine how these things just kind of mushroomed in terms of people can't not even, usually you can't walk while Black, you can't drive while Black. Now you can't even play video games in your family's home while Black, right? And that was the case with Tatiana Jefferson. Well, finally, and Coy tells us about this, her nephew, who was like 8 or 9 at the time, they filed suit against the city of Fort Worth, and they have finally agreed on a settlement.
Yes. So you did a great job of catching us up on the story for those of you who don't know about a Tatiana Jefferson. I do have another update that I just found out about moments ago.
I do
So
too. Yeah. So go ahead.
yes.
Okay, so you probably have the same one. So go ahead.
So her nephew Zion Carr was just his mother actually filed a lawsuit against the Fort Worth, Texas police, and he will now receive a $3.5 million settlement after witnessing his aunt's fatal shooting. He suffered anxiety, terror, and agony, and severe and extreme mental and emotional distress from witnessing his aunt's death, according to the federal lawsuit that was filed by his mother, Amber Carr, in 2021. Unfortunately, his mother passed away from congestive heart failure
That's
in
another tragedy, isn't
2023.
it?
Yes,
Yeah. Hmm.
earlier this year. So they announced the proposal. The city of Fort Worth announced the proposal of the $3.5 million settlement, and it was unanimously approved by the city council on November 28th. And this was just in part of the city council, the mayor, and others that worked to do this because they saw it as the right thing to do.
Mhm.
Um, it's a great thing because the settlement is going to be distributed in various ways, including paying for his living expenses. This is going to contribute to Zion's college savings plan. And this also includes scheduled payments to Zion until he's 40 years old. So it's a great thing that there was justice served. At the same time, this young man is going to remember his
He'll never
aunt's
forget that.
death and his
Yep.
mother's death with every payment he receives until he's 40 years old. Now, I did come across a quick update on Instagram. The Atatiana Project, Atatiana_project, is a nonprofit organization that was started for her memory, that's still bringing awareness to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, they are having, or actually, they're alerting the public that tomorrow there will be oral arguments for appeals for the officer
Aaron
who
Dean.
murdered. Yes, that is
Yeah.
going on tomorrow morning at the Tim Curry Justice Center. And that's going to be at 10 a.m. and it's open to the public. So everybody that is in the Fort Worth area, if you're able to attend, that address is 401 West Belknap Street. And it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be on the 9th floor.
Yeah, it is. This is a story that will forever go on. As you mentioned, Aaron Dean is going to appeal his manslaughter conviction tomorrow. The police woman that killed Botham John, she was sentenced to 10 years, and she's scheduled to get out very soon. And wants her record also changed, but it's something that this little boy will live with for the rest of his life. And it's a tragedy, an ongoing tragedy for that family. But thank you for bringing people up to date on that. Appreciate it.
I hope it works out for them, because when they break this money down over 40 years and taking out charges and taking out this and that, and I bet it doesn't include the legal fees and things like that. It could dwindle down not to be much money.
I don't know the breakdown of that. Do you have it, Coy?
I don't have the breakdown of the settlement. I'm sure that's something that will come to light soon, as it's something that was just made public within the last few days.
Right.
What I can let you all know, that there is more information on the Tatiana Project Instagram page that's not only outlining a lot of those things that are going on, but her day of remembrance, and also how the jury, pretty much from what I understand, that this officer was also charged incorrectly. There were some errors and what have you within the court case. So
Yeah, there's a lot still to be filled in the story of Tatiana Jefferson and the loss of her life, and how her family has had to deal with it as well. Among the other stories that we talk about in the newsletter, I've been focusing a lot on Israel this past week, and that was because it was fascinating to me that every 2 days the ceasefire was extended. That meant there were no bombs being tossed, there were no drones being shot down, there were no strikes of any kind from one country against the terrorists, the Hamas terrorists. But there also was the exchange of prisoners and hostages. And that went on until very late into the night last week. And as soon as they decided that they had had enough, Israel kind of pulled away from, Hamas and Israel, according to some parties, both pulled away and decided they were not going to deal with this anymore. So they went back to fighting. But the fascinating thing is that Friday, the New York Times reported that Israel had the report, the intelligence, that this was going to happen. Hamas was going to attack them. They knew it a year before this took place. And a woman was trying to tell them that this report, this project, the Jericho Wall, they called it, trying to tell them what was going on. And they refused to believe that Hamas had the manpower to do this. And they let it happen. They knew. Just imagine the thousands of lives, both of Palestinians and of the Israeli people, that could have been stopped and saved. If they had just, and that was the question, you guys. And George, I know you know this, well, because Israel has the best intelligence in the
Right.
world, right? And so this is what we talk about in this story. I know we're running out of time, but take a look at this story. And also, because I asked, like they did in Watergate, what did they know and when did they know it? They knew. And that is the most in, we'll talk about it in trending. Okay, we'll talk about it. It's now time for us to move to our guest, the What's Really Going On segment. And I'd like to welcome in Shannon Hills, Regional Director of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. She's joining us today to talk health insurance. Welcome, Shannon.
Hello, hello,
Thank
hello.
you. Hello, hello. It's good to be with you.
It's great to have you here. We are talking about the open enrollment period is underway, and I believe the deadline is near. You can share that with us. And this is the time for those who don't have health insurance to find affordable quality care, an affordable quality plan, and also the time for consumers who are enrolled perhaps to reevaluate the plans that they have. So, Shannon, tell us what are the dates we're looking at right now?
Absolutely. So, marketplace open enrollment period. We want folks to enroll by December 15th.
Okay.
December 15th. Why is that important? Because we want folks to start off 2024 covered. And so, for anyone who enrolls by December 15th, they will have coverage that will begin on January 1st.
Woo!
and,
Nice.
and this is important for people who may have lost their jobs. People are without health insurance. Maybe they're working for themselves and they don't have health care. And as George has pointed out, we're all getting older and we need to have health insurance. And it's also, as I mentioned, a time for people who have health insurance, have a health insurance plan, and yet take a look at some of the new changes because there's always an evolution in that, isn't there?
Yes, every year we know that health plan coverage changes. So even if someone has health insurance through healthcare.gov, they love their insurance, it's always important to go back online, healthcare.gov, review their current plan, see what changes there are. There could have been changes to the premium, could have been changes to the providers that are in network. Even if nothing has changed, they may find when they do a cost comparison against the other plans that are available that there might be a plan that provides the same level or either greater coverage at a reduced rate. And who doesn't want to save money if possible?
Yeah, in this day and time, that's absolutely true. Does it make sense for us to go online, or is there someone that we can talk to, or is it just far better for us to do it via the internet?
There are multiple options. So you can
Okay.
go online. You go online to healthcare.gov. You can put in all of your information, look at cost comparisons with various plans. There is also the healthcare.gov call center, and that number is 1-800-318-2596. The call center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there are representatives that are able to communicate in over 200 languages.
Oh,
There-
wow.
So lots of options there.
I'll
No
say,
200
excuses.
languages, yes.
really.
And they,
No
they-
excuses.
The other thing that's, go ahead.
people from the country like me talk like this here. Can they understand
That's
that?
a whole nother language, George.
Yes, George. Yes,
They can translate George
absolutely.
Wallace.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question about Sybil and Coy. What about age limit? Is there an age limit on this coverage?
There
That's-
is not an age limit on the coverage. So
listen.
when you go, yeah, you can either call the call center, go online. Here's something else that I think will be really impactful, particularly for the communities that I know you reach on this program. There is local help available. So if someone lives in Dallas, Texas, for example, when they go to healthcare.gov, they can click on the link, find local help. And there they can find someone directly in their community that they can sit down with, that they can either talk to ear, eye to eye. And we know that for many individuals, that just provides an additional level of comfort to really have someone be able to share with them the various options. So that is also a new opportunity that's available this year.
What else is new this year?
What's new is financial help. So there was legislation passed last year called the Inflation Reduction Act. And one of the things that this legislation did was extend financial help to help pay for premiums. So due to this new legislation, we anticipate that 4 out of 5 consumers who qualify for healthcare coverage on healthcare.gov will be able to receive it for $10 or less a month.
Wow.
So that's
wow.
really good news.
Wow, that's awesome.
Man.
I know,
month.
George, hang on one second. We do have one person who wants to participate, and then we'll get with you and Coy. CM Williams says, I live in a state where it is mandatory to have health insurance. Premiums are ridiculous and going up. So would that help somebody like CM Williams, where with the Inflation Reduction Act could help them in terms of paying for it?
It would. So I would encourage that individual, however they would like. They can go online to healthcare.gov. They can call the call center number or go online and just click find local help. And yes, it will qualify for anyone who lives in the United States. If they qualify, they can receive healthcare coverage. And yes, that financial help. What's nice about the financial help is when you go online and you put in all of your information, it will calculate the level of financial help that is available to you. So you will be able to see that.
Awesome. Coy, you're a young woman who needs health insurance.
Yes.
Do you have any questions for Shannon?
I do. So for somebody like me who is getting back into the corporate world, and I do have, benefits and health insurance that my company offers. However, I'm starting to see that it's a bit expensive. It's taking a big chunk out of my check. So what would you recommend to those who would like to transition from their company's coverage to coverage that's offered by healthcare.org? Like, is that something that your representatives can help assist with? And what does that mean? Like, if we have a gap in coverage, or will there be a gap in coverage between transferring from what I have to what I'm seeking?
Right. Well, the good news is when you enroll by December 15th, it will start January 1. So most health insurance coverages go for a full year. So if you're covered now, if you're found to be eligible through a plan on healthcare.gov, then there would not be that break-in service. So what's really important, I think, is to have people go there and see. We know that health insurance is expensive, particularly on various different policies. So we really want folks to go to healthcare.gov. It is for those who qualify. So it may not be that everyone qualifies, but it is a large number of individuals that do. And what's really important is we want to make sure as many of our fellow brothers and sisters have health insurance. We know it's so important. We don't want individuals to wait until they have a serious event and then go to seek medical care and just find that it can be very, very difficult on families. So we want to get the word out to folks that there are financial savings available. And these are comprehensive plans. So we're talking doctor's visits, prescription drugs, emergency care, the full coverage. And so we want folks to know that there is comprehensive coverage that can be available to folks.
And there are some healthcare insurance companies or insurance coverages that are available in some parts of the country that are not necessarily available in other parts of the country. So if you're moved over the last year and you want to continue your healthcare coverage, this is also a time to investigate that as well, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great point. So even if someone is covered right now, we always encourage them every year to go back and review their coverages. They can update all of their contact information to see those plans that are available in their current market that they are a part of. So yes, you're absolutely right. It's always good to go back, update, and see the options that are available in the current market that they're in.
I like to do that in my personal life too, just kind of update and see if they're still worth my money. George Wallace.
Yes, I'm just thinking about the program. It's so good, and it's so people need to hear about this news, about this insurance, and it's affordable. I can't believe if you sign up by December 15th, you're covered on January 1. That's fantastic. I should just join again myself just for the hell of it. I just think that's a joke. Don't do this. This is not funny. But isn't that wonderful to know that I can get insurance if I need it by the 15th and I'm
Yeah.
covered by January?
Yeah,
Man, you better call
absolutely.
somebody. If you have family members, you better call and get on this program because this is very important. Very important. I'm glad you're here, Shannon.
Thank
Can
you
we-
so much, George. I appreciate that. And you're absolutely right. For your listeners, please share it with family members. Sit down with them, maybe make the phone call with them. Because we really want to make sure that our loved ones, community members, folks that have poured into us all of our lives who may think that it's just too expensive, I can't afford it. We really want folks to know that affordable, comprehensive coverage. This is not bargain basement. This is really good quality insurance. And so we want folks to go to healthcare.gov or call the call center 1-800-318-2596. Or if they're online, go to Find Local Help, and someone in their local community can sit down with them directly and show them the options that are available.
Yes,
How
young
about
man.
dental? Is dental covered also?
Some plans do.
Okay.
Some plans do. So it would be important for folks to look at that. And Sybil, if I could also share, we know that we're in a time where many individuals that were formerly covered through Medicaid or CHIP, and they are going through that renewal process. So it's really important that we want folks to know that if they have Medicaid or CHIP, to look for the renewal information from the state. All states are in the process of redetermining individuals' eligibility for Medicaid or CHIP. So we want them first to make sure that's a piece of mail that you want to open up immediately. That's not one to put to the side. So we want folks to make sure that they're completing that information, submitting it back to the state, because in many cases, folks will still be eligible for Medicaid or CHIP, and that generally comes with no cost share. So we want folks to look at all of their options. If they find that they're no longer eligible for Medicaid or CHIP, then we absolutely want them to come to healthcare.gov, see if they qualify there. But first, we want them to make sure that the state has their updated contact information. They're able to make an appropriate determination because many individuals may find that they still qualify.
Coy, do you have another question? We have Janet Ferguson I'll go to, and then we'll come back to you. Janet is on Facebook. She said, if you have insurance through your job, you can try to get insurance through healthcare.gov. And I think that's what Coy was asking as well.
Yes, that is true.
And I'd also...
No, go ahead, sweetie.
Oh, I'd also like to know if any of the healthcare plans include mental health care, because I know that seems to be like a big concern with a lot of people, especially becoming aware of their different traumas that they're, finding out that they may have. We're getting advice from Instagram, but we're not getting advice from professionals. And all of us can't, I'm finding out that even getting diagnosed or help with some of these things is very costly. So it would be great to know if we have any kind of healthcare plans that cover some of these expenses.
Right. It is comprehensive. So I would wager, Coy, that it probably is because there's so many plans in so many different markets. What we want individuals to do is to go there and check them out. But yes, that is a critical piece that we know that this administration has advocated for behavioral health. And so I feel confident that there are plans that cover those mental health services.
And not just for us as individuals, if we have members of our family that we want to cover as well, and make sure that they're on our plan, and that these things are covered as Coy is referring. This young woman on YouTube said, should married people apply individually or as a couple? How does that work?
Yeah, what I would encourage them to do is if they want to go online to healthcare.gov, do it both ways. You may find that there are some cost savings by doing it collectively as a family versus doing it independently. So each person's situation is different. I know that that there are some times, I believe it was in North Carolina, that a family, a couple with 2 kids making roughly $40,000 a year, to cover the entire family, I believe was around $30. So sometimes there's a lot of advantages that can be done collectively, but I would say just go to healthcare.gov. The good thing about that is you can put in the various scenarios, you as an individual, you as a couple, and it will be able to show you what those cost savings will be.
So you don't have to call back later and use a different voice and try to.
Hello.
Hey, Sybil, Coy, Shannon, I got a question for you.
Of course.
Can I buy insurance for somebody else?
I'm sorry, ask your question again.
Am I allowed to buy insurance for a friend or a relative or a kid?
That is a great question. What I would say again, now this would be a wonderful question for the 1-800 number, because they're the experts. They allow me to come and talk to good folks like you and share information, but call the 1-800 number. They're the experts and they'll be able to share that information with you directly.
Thank you so much. That is so great, because I know somebody that needs insurance and I can afford to pay for it if it's $10 a month.
Anything higher, they're on their own, right? Yeah.
Health insurance gift cards.
Even $100 a month is a good deal. Am I right? For
Yeah.
insurance to be covered? Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's worth it. Donna Jones on Facebook. I'm on SSD. Where do I go to check my benefits?
She said she's on S. Can you repeat that back to me, Sybil?
She said she's on SSD. Where do I go to check my benefits? I'm assuming that's Social Security or disability.
Social Security, disabilities, yes. So I would think she would contact the Social Security Administration for that. But here's the good news. She can also call the 800 number and they will be able to direct her directly. But I'm thinking that's covered through the Social Security Administration. But there's no harm in calling the 1-800 number for healthcare.gov. And if it's something that in fact does need to be covered through Social Security, they'll direct her there as well.
And one more time, Shannon, you gave us the 1-800 number. Would you repeat that number for us?
Absolutely. It's 1-800-318-2596.
Or for the
flow, she saw me reaching for the pencil. So 1-800-318-2596.
You got it.
You got it.
I'm gonna call her right now.
Dude, speak a different language, George. Speak a different language.
Dr. Wallace, Shannon has given me instructions to call you. $10 a month. This is great.
Shannon Hills, one more time, let's give people a little bit of a rundown. The open enrollment period is going on until December 15th, correct?
Yes, we want people to enroll by December 15th because we want to make sure they're covered by January 1st.
And if you have questions about the different programs that are available in your area, in your state, in your county, you can go to the 1-800 number or to healthcare.gov.
Yes, and when they're on healthcare.gov, they can click on the link Find Local Help, and that's when they will be connected to insurance brokers, agents, navigators in their local community that can speak to them directly about the plans in that market.
And there is good news for people who are affected by perhaps the loss of a job or the inflation rates are just too great for them. The Inflation Reduction Act will help some people in paying for their health care.
That is absolutely correct. And so the Inflation Reduction Act extended financial help. And so when they go online or talk to an agent, they will be able to see firsthand the cost savings that may be available to help pay for deductibles to make insurance even more affordable.
And we can go on, we can find out all of the great things that the different programs allow us to benefit from, whether it is, as Coy has talked about, mental health care, George has talked about dental, vision, all of these things, and we can get answers to all of our questions by calling the 1-800-318-2596 or healthcare.gov.
Absolutely. And that call center is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and agents are available to communicate in over 200 languages.
God bless him when George Wallace calls, because I have a hard enough time figuring out what he's saying when he texts me. So I'm praying for them.
I'm gonna call right now because I'm from Georgia and I be talking like this. I'm from College Park. Is that how they talk in College Park, Coy? College Park.
Calipar. There's a
Shannon,
representative
we're going to
for that.
release you from this madness. Thank you so much for your time and for
I
spending time.
appreciate you.
We appreciate you and all of the great work you all are doing. Thank you so much. And here's to a healthy new year to you.
Thank you. You as well. Take care,
Thank
all.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Talking about healthcare, folks. Let's get on it. December 15th, time is getting short.
Fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic.
I'm sorry, say again.
That's fantastic to talk about healthcare.
Yeah,
I
it's
learned something tonight. Very important. Thank you so much.
I'm stuck on the $10 part.
Girl, you call on there for $10 if you want to.
Let's move to the trending topics. And George, first of all, where are you going to be appearing? Are you going to be out on the road? You said you're going a number of places. Are you going to be working anytime soon?
I'm working on music and my theme music for the TV show on the Thursday and Friday. Then I'm gonna take a holiday and go to Honolulu and get some sun. Out there and get some sun. And then I'm gonna come back to New York and work at Gotham Comedy Club on the 17th. There are a lot of great comedians at Gotham on the 17th of December. And then we'll get ready to just work again and enjoy the holidays. I'm preparing for the holidays. My family's coming to Atlanta.
Don't they always come to Atlanta?
We had 3 years. COVID just did the number on us.
Oh, right.
I'm already tired of them. They need.
They're not even there yet.
Well, you can invite me. I'll go right back home.
She'll just take a plate and go right on back to the new
Everybody
apartment.
else comes to my house. J. Anthony Brown and Myra, they all come to my house at Christmas. So you might as well come over too, Coy.
Yay!
And I'll come from Dallas because the food is always amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Although Coy has a lot of requirements.
Mm-hmm.
She's, she has this allergy and she doesn't like that. And she is vegan/vegetarian/ pescatarian and, dairy
gluten-free
intolerant.
About
Yeah.
10 minutes. You'll be there for 10 minutes because you walk in, you're going to smell ham hocks, okay? And then you just might as well turn around. The tea is so sweet.
How sweet is it?
It is.
Right now it's going, hey. So George, you're going to be in New York, which is a great time to be in New York right before Christmas. You said at Gotham Comedy Club, right?
Listen, I'm going to go to Gotham on the Sunday the 17th. I'll be there with so many comedians, local comedians, and it's kind of like, it's called mixtape. So you're going to see a little music, a little bit of everything. And it's on 23rd, 108 23rd Street in New York City. And it's just going to be awesome. We're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of jokes. And I'm trying to make a joke work that I cannot. It's about stainless steel.
Okay.
Why do they call it stainless steel? I'm trying, when you work these jokes, well, the first thing comes with is stainless steel polish, right? There's always stains on it. So that's all I have on it right now, but I don't understand why it's called stainless steel.
You have a really 2 weeks to work on that. So hopefully it'll come,
I'll do it without a punchline. It doesn't bother me.
It'll be a filler.
George, tell people about your TV show you're going to work on the music for.
The new TV show is called Clean Slate with the great 101 years old. We better hurry up. Norman Lear, boo! Norman Lear, 101 years old, and my co-star, Laverne Cox. So it's going to be like Sanford and Son, but you already see the twist coming. Sanford and daughter. And so we've got to be educated. America has to be educated. An old man like me don't understand. Got to learn how to live and let live. People do what they want to do and enjoy life no matter what.
That is a real twist.
That's great.
And where will it be streaming?
It's going to be on Amazon Freebie.
Okay. Oh, Freebie. Okay.
Freebie, yeah. And so
Okay.
Go ahead, Coy.
Oh no, I'm excited.
He wants to know if you have a need for a pole dancer or a young actress, an ingenue perhaps in there.
Or if you want to cast me as an adult that looks like a child, sure.
The show has already been cast, but we start again next year, we hope. We scored 29 points above normal TV shows, sitcoms. So it's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. And you got to like it, not to like it. It's very, very controversial, more than anything that
So
normally.
more controversial than like All in the Family
Yeah,
or any of those shows that Norman Lear brought to America
yeah,
50 years ago?
this is concerning transgender and my son to my daughter. And, you know, it's going to be talked about. And the church is I'm going to catch hell from the black church. And it's going to be really, really, but I'm ready for the church. All the
I know
help
you are.
in the church. Yeah, you know, I've seen everything and anything that could happen has happened in the church, from drugs to sex to you name it. So
Mhm.
this is about love. You name it. Green beans, tomatoes, potatoes, yam, ham. But I'm
Well,
looking forward
awesome,
to the
George.
show.
Do you know when I know you're working on the music. Do you have a date in which?
Around April. We were going to come out at Christmas at this time, but there's so much happening with the Christmas movies right now.
Mhm.
We decided to wait. You know, since that lady was on, I got to talk properly.
Speaking of the movies,
Your languages can understand what I'm saying.
yeah, I'm telling you, the texting really throws me. Speaking of the movies, did
Listen,
anyone
I talk texting. I text to Jed and Brown and Mara, and I sometimes say yo, and this and that. Who this is? I do that, and Sybil can't stand that stuff.
I just because I don't know what he's saying, Coy. I mean, it's not like who this here. There's just some words I just don't understand. I'm like,
You need to live in
eh.
Atlanta. Oh, you're from Chicago. She's uppity. She's from Chicago. What did you study? You didn't go to. Did you go to? What college did you go to?
I went to Northwestern University.
That's all that need to be said. She and Gene Sparrow. That's all I need to hear.
Are you going to see Gene Sparrow in Hawaii?
Yes, yes, I will. God bless her.
Oh,
Yeah. That should be nice. And
buy her a nice pineapple infused adult beverage for me.
everything over there is pineapple. I want to ask them a question when I go there. Where the hell is the fruit juice and Hawaiian punch? They don't got that stuff over there. I want to know that.
How'd you like a Hawaiian punch? Did anyone go to the movies and see Beyonce's concert film this weekend?
But I should go.
We should support her because a lot of was on her regarding the success of this, and so she did come out as number one. It wasn't as big of a splash as Taylor Swift's initial weekend, her debut, but let us support this young woman. And I know the tickets are a bit more expensive. I did want to go, I just didn't. I just had stuff going on. So I didn't make it.
The movie was $3. How much is it now, Sybil?
Well, I will tell you, for the Beyonce movie at the AMC theater near my house, it was $22. Coy's like blank. Is that not a lot?
That's like normal, it seems
Look
like,
at
unless
there.
you
Look
go
at
to
there.
certain theaters, yeah.
The popcorn across the street costs $23. So if I can walk to the theater, I'm like 500 feet from the theater.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Coy, it's not. Is it that expensive for other movies for you?
Yeah, pretty much. You're gonna spend
Of
about
course,
that
you're
much
going on
on
a
a
date
couple of
and they're
tickets.
paying for you.
Yeah, well, thanks,
That's
Sybil. That has happened. Thank you. Yeah, that's about ballpark. I expect to spend that much at least on a couple of tickets, or one ticket and maybe a drink, or
One
ticket and
ticket.
popcorn. Yeah,
One ticket, no popcorn, no pop, no pickles, no nothing.
You guys,
I'm not
seriously, I
surprised.
understand about $25 for Beyonce, but a regular ticket for a regular movie is $25.
Georgia, I quite honestly, I have gone to maybe a handful of movies. I'm not sure what the price was for since COVID. But I haven't been really, and I didn't pay, so can't tell you.
Okay. Well, here's a man who won't pay $2.79 for a pack of M&Ms. So
you really are going to be owing somebody big for that kind of night.
That's so true.
So check this out. Could the 2024 re-election of Donald Trump cause society to collapse? Like fall in, like no democracy. People are going to become end of the worlders. And some people think, and they're called preppers. They are preparing for the end of the United States and democracy to end in the Donald Trump second term.
That lady, her name is Liz Cheney, I think. She says we're moving closer to a dictatorship. And it's true. You see what Donald Trump has done already. He doesn't give a damn about anybody but what he thinks and what he does. And I just think you got to really think about that. Republicans, please.
So not only, and it's both sides. It's not just more liberal people.
Right.
Conservatives on the right also say that they are afraid about what will happen. So they're preparing. They're called preppers. And so they are talking about the disastrous collapse of a society. And so they are preparing for the possibility of this disastrous collapse. And so they have all of their foods canned and bottled and prepared for what could happen, because they predict that Donald Trump will only have members of the military who are loyal to him, only have members of Congress, only have the judicial branch who are, and so everything, he will become a dictator. And in order to survive under this dictatorship, they believe that, and he will take everything away from people he does not like. And so they're saying that people are prepping. They are getting ready. And Coy, you're a chef, so you're already a step ahead of us. I'm not a Uber Eats person, but I will go to the store and get some frozen lean cuisines and put them in my freezer. But
Hope for the
people are,
best.
yeah. But I have friends of friends who live off the grid, and so they have where they have animals, and they have farming, and where they're growing vegetables and fruit and things like that in order to live off the grid.
I
You
still
know,
have my freezer left from COVID's. Is it still good?
You say the
I like
fruit.
those Omaha steaks. I got all that stuff still in the freezer from
Oh, you
COVID.
should probably start working on cleaning those out for your guests for Christmas.
All right. Ooh, good idea. Ooh, that's what they're gonna get to. Yeah. Coy, come over and cook some old steaks.
okay. I cook, you eat them.
Okay. Congratulations may be in order for Ashanti. U.S. Magazine is reporting that the singer is pregnant with her first child after hooking back up with her former boyfriend, Nelly.
Nelly.
It got hot in
It
there.
got it hot in there, didn't it?
This
Yes, it
is
did.
this is an example when you spin the block and it's successful.
The baby will be Ashanti.
Spin the block with intention.
Okay. This will be her first child. Nellie has two considerably older children, a daughter who's 29 and a son who is Cornell the third is 24 with his ex. And they said they first sparked a conversation about her being pregnant after she went to his black and white ball in St. Louis. And during while she was singing, she put her hand on her belly, and he did the same. And according to fan video, the couple broke into laughter. And so, as I said, they dated off and on 2003 to 2013. And now 10 years later, they're back.
See, they went to the Cheesecake Factory. They ate. No problems. Yeah, no problem.
Not a problem. Coy, would you date an ex?
I don't have any next on the date. I don't think I've spun the block before. You know what? I have spun the block. Come back to me on that one.
Okay, whether you want to share or not. Okay, I'm not mad at you. George,
I might be spinning right now.
It didn't work the first time. You think that's kind of tricky?
Yeah, I think because sometimes you get to a point like, it's not so bad, and then you think you're better with the devil you know than the devil you don't, and then that devil really springs up, and it's not.
What the hell did I do?
What was I thinking?
I mean, really, if you leave an ex and you know that it ended on bad terms and you were really hurt in that situation, I don't recommend spinning the block. But if you ended and it was amicable and there's been some considerable time, you could think about it. Is that something that I would normally do? No. Have I done it? Yeah, I've done it.
And do you regret?
If you're married, here's a good question. If you're married, would you do it again?
If I was married
to the same person? I'm talking to everybody that's listening. Would you do it?
Because there are couples that they were married, they were apart, now they come back together. And Dora Levette Tiggs on Facebook says they are exes for a reason.
That's so true.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Always remember that, Coy.
Yeah, true.
But Richard Pryor said, I'm in love with a bee I can't stand, so maybe they need to be back together also to live, to survive.
No, Richard is no longer with us. That doesn't apply.
That's what somebody said about me. He said, if you're old enough to shoot, you're old enough to be shot. And they said, you always talking about
Dang.
they said, you always talking about you're such a Christian. Christ wouldn't do nothing like that. I said, well, he don't live down here no more.
He's coming back, George. He is coming back. He's very much coming back. Are you either of you going to watch the Republican debate this week?
For
No.
comedy.
For laughs. George, do you have any interest? Or Ron DeSantis?
I'd rather go online and watch a funeral of
Wow.
a funeral.
Just a funeral. Okay.
Yeah, I had to die 2 years ago. I watched that before I watched.
Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. So that's enough.
They were pretty good. What's the governor of California? He was pretty good.
That debate, which everybody's still trying to figure out why Ron DeSantis did that, the debate between the governors, Ron DeSantis of Florida and Gavin Newsom of California, and they said that Newsom ate Ron DeSantis's lunch.
Lit him up.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they said at one point somebody came on during the commercial break. They were going to go into extra time, and somebody said, "We're out of here. No, this is a waste. Come on, let's go." So,
so maybe Newsom can step in, Sybil.
Well, that's what a lot of Democrats are saying, that he is putting himself out there in the event, and I don't want to put it out there, but in the event that Joe Biden is not able to carry through as the Democratic candidate, he's putting himself out. Hey, over here, look what I can do. But let us not forget who is the person who should be doing that. And that's Kamala Harris. Just saying. Just saying. Let's move to entertainment. One of my favorite specials of every year. I say this all the time. I've been saying this for years, probably long before you were born, Coy. My favorite show of the season.
Not me. Coy, but not me, huh?
George, I wasn't born before you were born, so I'm just saying. But one of my favorite shows is the Kennedy Center Honors. This is where they honor people in the arts.
Yeah.
Right? And so they recorded this last night in Washington, D.C., and they said they had something for everyone. They had opera, they had comedy, they had hip hop, they had pop music. And the 46th Kennedy Center Honors recipients included Do You Know the Way to San Jose, or Say a Little Prayer, Dionne Warwick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure your friend and comedian, Billy Crystal, George.
Yes.
Singer and rapper, Queen, all hail to the Queen, UNITY, Queen Latifah. Renee Fleming, who is an opera singer and a soprano, and she is really quite something. And Barry Gibb, I think he's one, if he's not the surviving Gibb brother, he may be one of two, but there aren't many around anymore. Do you remember the brothers Gibb, Coy? Like
No.
Staying Alive.
Staying Alive.
The name is familiar, but yeah, I know that song.
She's young. She's really young.
Yeah, she's young. 5 different artists, all regarded to have two critical ingredients in common: an unwavering commitment to their craft and a lot of love to give the world around them. So Dionne Warwick, and she said it herself, but a lot of other people said this honor was long overdue. Past center honoree Debbie Allen chronicled the highlights of her career and her life. Now check this out, George. For your friend Billy Crystal, it was Jay Leno, Bob Costas, Whoopi Goldberg, who shouted out their late comic relief partner Robin Givens, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Robert De Niro, and Rob Reiner all offered their heartfelt words to the 75-year-old Billy Crystal.
That's amazing. Have you, Sybil, ever attended one of these events? Ever?
Never. And even I want to say Tom went to when Lionel Richie was honored. And I was like, oh, I want to go. He brought me back a program.
It's an amazing event. I did it for Carl Reiner.
Oh, wonderful, George.
I was able to speak, and it was wonderful. And that's when we were invited to the White House the next day with Bill Clinton.
Oh, George, that's awesome.
Much fun and laughter, and Carl Reiner, all of the shows that he produced, and just them asking me, little black, I was the only black one on the show.
I just think that it's so magical. It is just so wonderful, Coy, and it just gives me as one who loves the arts the way I do. And I can't wait for them to do Queen Latifah too. They
Mm.
say she started out as a rapper and MC, and her success was an anomaly because the genre was mostly male. That came from Kerry Washington, but she went on to dominate, becoming one of the best rappers of all time, male or female. And everyone from MC Light to Rhapsody kissed the ring of the Queen, including an adorable 5-year-old rapper by the name of Van Van. And Missy Elliott drove home her impact and her effect on people. In her eyes, Queen Latifah's Queen moniker sent a message: I set the bar, I am the bar. And yes,
Oh,
she is. That ceremony that was recorded last night will air December 27th. It's usually a day or two after Christmas on CBS. So set your DVRs if you can.
did you
I
get to Coy? 27th, a day or two after Christmas.
After
I
a
said that
safe
it's
day.
normally a day or two after Christmas. This year it'll be 2 days after. So
Yes, you know, I'm just talking.
and I so appreciate your nonsensical talk, George.
But you as
Thank you
well.
so
That's a
much,
good thing.
George. Safe travels to Los Angeles, as you
Wait a
and my
second.
grandmother used to call it.
He
We're
said,
done?
wait a second.
Huh?
We're finished?
We're finished.
I had a list of things next time. And if I don't talk to you guys before Christmas, I want you to have to, I'm going to call back before Christmas no
Come
matter
back
what.
next Monday.
I'm Huggy Lowdown. Where am I next Monday? I will. I'll do it from
Okay.
Hawaii. That's about 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
I'll do
Make a
it out
absolutely.
nice
on
background.
it's kind of a balcony. What do they call it over there? Not a balcony. They call it
A lanai.
lanai. I do it on the lanai so you can see the hoes and the pimps working down the street down there.
Before we go, I did want to thank you, George, and Coy. Good luck with moving.
Thank you.
The jewel is respecting yourself is the beginning of being respected by others. It all starts right here. Absolutely. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you, and everyone else, be good to each
I
other
love
out
you,
there.
and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, Coy, because my love for you does not require your permission. Bam!
And a message to all of my exes, because I know some of y'all are watching this show. Do not spin the block. The answer